Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome back to VA Made Easy. I'm Ed Farmer. Today, we're going to talk about some potentially new changes to the VA rating criteria for 2024. Specifically, the VA has proposed to make changes to some commonly applied for disabilities. One, tinnitus. Two, big change coming with sleep apnea. And three, mental health conditions are going to be completely different. So let's talk about them, guys. Let's get into it. So before we talk about what the changes are, I just want to make clear that these are just proposed changes by the VA. Nothing has been implemented yet, but we do expect the VA to implement these changes sometime in 2024. I've heard anywhere from spring of 2024 to the end of 2024. I mean, it's VA, guys. We just have to stay tuned and see what happens. But let's talk about the changes. So the first potentially big change has to do with tinnitus. Probably the most commonly applied for benefit, if not one of the most commonly applied for benefits. So the way it sits right now is you could get a standalone rating for tinnitus. It's 10%. It's always 10%. If you're service connected for it, that's what you get. So the VA, what they're proposing to do is to say tinnitus is no longer a standalone disability. Now you have to attribute it to another disability. So they treat it now as a symptom and not a disability on its own. So now you can't just have tinnitus by yourself. You have to be able to attribute it to another disability. That those other disabilities being probably hearing loss, traumatic brain injury, Meniere's disease, maybe you have a perforated eardrum. Those are just some examples of some disabilities that have tinnitus as a symptom. Well, I don't know about this one, guys. If you already are service connected for tinnitus, this will not affect you. The VA is not going to go back and change that rating. This only applies to folks who have not applied for tinnitus yet. My advice is let's get those claims in now before these changes take place. So, as I was saying, I'm not sure about this change. I don't see how it benefits veterans. In my personal claim, in dozens of my clients' claims, there always seems to be an issue where the audiologist is like, yeah, he has tinnitus related to his service, but his hearing loss is not related to his service. Like that occurs a lot, quite a bit. So if that applies to you, are they just going to deny everything? They're going to say, yeah, he has tinnitus related to service, but because he doesn't have a primary disability we can link it to, then it gets denied. I don't know, guys. It's going to be interesting to see how the VA applies this one. All right, the next major change involves sleep apnea. So currently the way the ratings sit for sleep apnea is if you use a CPAP machine or another breathing assistance device, then you get a 50% rating for sleep apnea. Now what the VA wants to do is they say, well, you're using a CPAP machine that alleviates all your sleep apnea symptoms. So we're not going to give you 50% anymore. They want to change the rating so if a CPAP or another breathing assistance device relieves your symptoms, then you get a 0%. But I mean, my thought is, yeah, but you have to wear that damn mask on your face while you try to sleep. That isn't worth anything. The hassle of dealing with the disease in and out every day. I mean, plus, what's that going to do? Just encourage people not to wear their CPAP machines? I mean, this one I think is terrible. I really hope this one doesn't go into effect, but be on the watch out for this, guys. Again, those sleep apnea claims, if you've been thinking about it, stop thinking about it and put it in. If you've been denied, appeal that. Contact a VA accredited attorney or agent and get that appealed. All right, the last major changes, guys, involve mental health conditions. So the way they rate mental health conditions now is you could get anywhere from a 0 to 100%, the in-between ratings being 30, 50, and 70. So 0% means you have no social or occupational issues. 100% means you have total social and occupational issues. That's the way it sits now. So now they want to change this, and this change might do some good for veterans, but let's see how the VA applies it. So instead of ratings now, they're going to have something called domains, and there's going to be 5 domains, and it's supposed to look at you from a more holistic viewpoint. They're supposed to look at you cognitively and your relationships and how you work and self-care. And all those domains are going to get assigned a rating from 0 to 4. 0 meaning has no effect. 4 meaning it totally affects you. Confused yet? Yeah. Even as a lawyer reading the new proposed regulations, it's confusing. It's a little bit like the TBI rating now. Some good things that are going to come out of it. So obviously the bad is it's confusing. The normal veteran might struggle to understand what the rating is now for a mental health condition and how he meets those criteria. But there's some good. Currently, there's a 0% minimum rating the VA could get for mental health conditions, but the VA is going to change this and make 10% the minimum rating. So you can't get anything less than 10% for a mental health condition. They're also removing the language that says total occupational and social impairment is required for a 100% rating. The idea behind it is they're trying to make it easier for veterans who work to still get 100% for a mental health condition. Now, I applaud the VA in trying to make it easier for guys to try to get 100%, but why do you fight them so hard when they're just asking for an increase from 50 to 70? And you deny IU all the time. So, I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. Let's see what the VA does with this. Remember, guys, these are just proposed changes to the VA rating schedules. Once I see something more concrete, I'll update you. Hey, guys, I'm looking forward to having 2024 with you. Please keep liking, subscribing, and sharing my channel. And Happy New Year. And as always, you have the power to change your VA claim.